Hey, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is episode 53 of Codebase Alpha, coming to you courtesy of a very kind of headachy assembly. So I might keep this fairly short. Whatever happens, I'm going to be having a break at about 5 o'clock because I've got a quick backup to do on the work system upstairs. So we'll see how we go for the next hour or so. Okay, so where were we last time? So last time we created a new maze and a little puzzle with some batteries and a vending machine. And today what I'd like to look at is just kind of refining some of the commands that we've got, particularly the take and the drop commands, so that we can take all and drop all. And also look at scoring points by transferring treasures from the dungeon up into the small brick building, which is kind of our home base, and by kind of dropping items of treasure there, then we're going to be able to score some points. So that's basically the idea. Let's have a bit of music to kind of soothe the troubled breast, because that's what I need. Some relaxed daily. So this music is relaxed daily. There are 3 tracks which just repeat on it. It's all free, royalty free, available to people to use on YouTube videos and streams and whatever. And also, if you're interested, there's on the relaxeddaily.net website there are hundreds of other tracks, and they're really fantastic to code by. So just as good as Carl Franklin's excellent music to code by, which I also have, but of course I'm not licensed to use that on stream. So, but I do find that Relax Daily is a really good way of getting into the groove of coding and really kind of focusing, because it's not music that you have to kind of concentrate on. It's very much there in the background, and it's kind of stimulates the brain cells a bit. So I do enjoy coding while listening to it. Okay, so let's pop across into our code and see what we can see. Here we are. So okay, so this is the take command. So let's have a look at creating a take all and a drop all command to begin with. And this is all part of being able to transfer the many treasures across to the brick building. So take all is obviously a reasonable command to create. So as you can see, this is the take command. It extends the base adventure command, which itself is an implementation of the iAdventure command interface. There are 2 basic components to it. There's the constructor, where we set whether or not this command requires us to go and see if any events fire or not. In this case, the take command we deem to take enough time that, for example, the wandering monsters could move around during that time, or the lamp could use up one of its units of energy from its current batteries during the time that you're taking things. Where, for example, looking around, the look command doesn't check events, because you can look around and it doesn't actually take enough time to use up the battery power, or to allow a dwarf, for example, or another wandering monster to move around. Now, it's quite arguable that that's the case, because look could be search, and searching might take quite a long time. But in the current system, look doesn't check events, but take does. And what happens is we get passed in an instance of the player into this invoke method. We get a copy of the player object, which implements the iAdventure player interface, and we also get the command arguments, the chat command event args, and we split out the first event arg is the actual command word itself, and the second one, which is args as list element number 1, which is going to be the item that we're trying to take or pick up. Now, in a stream a couple of streams ago, we implemented the concept of null words. So I think it's in the, is it in base adventure command? No, command handler perhaps. Command registry, command handler. Yeah, so we implemented this list of null words. So these are words which we basically remove from the event args array prior to sending it to the command. So and the, this, that, too. So you can say take the lamp, and it will remove the from the array and just shuffle it along, so that it to the system it's just take lamp, and that's what we'd normally type anyway. But you can be more flowery, so we might increase this length of this null word list at some point. But that's how that bit works. So we can always be assured that in position 1 in our array should be a noun which represents an object we want to take. So we could have all in there. So if we actually filter that out, rather than try and get an item here, we can say this, because this is too low, we can say if item equals all. So then we can do something different in this case. So what we could do, in fact, is we could just reverse that logic. So if it isn't equal to all, Pure Stable, thank you very much for the subscription. That's very kind of you. Good to see you in chat. Subscribe for 3 months, so you should have a new rocket. You should have a blue rocket, I believe. If you type something into chat, I think a blue rocket will be your new badge. I think it's blue. So do type something into chat, and let's see if that is the case. There we are, blue rocket. Thought so. Wonderful. That's your 3 months badge, and then it will go. The 6 month badge is an orange one. So I think I've got an orange one. So if I type in, I don't know, Discord. I've got an orange rocket, yeah. There we go. So I haven't got anything above 6 months yet, so we'll have to think of a nice colour. I quite like the colours. The green and the blue and the orange are quite nice colours. I'm not quite sure what that colour to have the next badge at. But I've got a few months before I have to worry about it, really. Okay, so we've got that. It's not equal to all. Then what do we need to do? So we're probably going to be able to let's just do the logic the way I intended first, and then see what we can salvage in the way of not having so much repeated code. So so what we need to look at is all of the portable items in this location. So var portable items is going to equal location to items dot so where, so there should be is portable. Yeah, there it is portable. Is portable. So that's going to give us a list. I don't think it's the right list though. Give us a list, so we can probably work with that. So what we're going to be careful of is containers. So you can see here we're looking at containers. So some items can contain other things. A pink rocket, that might be quite good. Or a rainbow rocket. Maybe that's the year one, a rainbow coloured rocket. We should have a silver one for the starship, shouldn't we, really? I'm not sure we can get a metallic looking rocket. So as I was saying, that some objects are containers and those have contents. So if the location's null, if it's not portable, so we've taken care of that. If contain, oh, okay, so this is the other thing we need to. So if the item, we need to so these two things are quite important. So if we grab that bit of code, we'll just transfer it up into the top here for now. So this is going to be, we don't need to have any actual text. So what we can do here, portable items, so we need a for each now. So each item in portable items, then we're going to want to process each of those items. And what we can say is if the item the contains required and so what was that? If item has required location item. That doesn't seem right. Location item dot container required and the player. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. It is item and item because that's a function which takes the item and determines whether the player's got the container. Then we can continue that point. An item. Naming again, isn't it? It's getting decent names. We'll tidy all this up. Let's get a working command. Twitch purple. Yeah, I did think a purple rocket might be quite good, but whether I don't know if it'll show up. I think it should do actually, because the way that the artist has done my rocket for me is quite nicely shaded, so it might work. Which maybe that should be. I think they get a 9-month badge these days, so I don't think it just stops at 6 then jumps to 12. There might be a 9-month badge, but I don't know. Yeah, it's all money. It's all money. Get these things done. I need to invest myself in an art package of some kind and do the changes myself, I suppose. Okay, so we if it's a container required and didn't have the container, then they can't pick that up. And if it's some kind of prevention flag set on the item, they can't pick it up. Otherwise, then we can simply allow the player to add this to their inventory. So there's also this piece of code where we sort out the container. Okay, well let's get them to add to their okay. Let's have them pick each item up, and we'll get rid of all this repeated code and put it all into functions in a moment. Okay, so This is an item. So what's this saying? So if a container is required for this item, then add it to the container. We've already said they've got the required container. Otherwise, add it to their inventory. Remove the item from the current location if the item bestows a status upon the player. So we've got this concept of player statuses. For example, there's a giant golden nugget in the dungeon, and if you add that to your inventory, you get the status of being encumbered, which means if you try and go down, if you use the go down command, then you will fall to your death automatically, because you can't climb downwards while carrying the giant nugget. So what else were we doing with this container? So here we're saying get containers. Okay, so this is getting all of the items in your current location, which are containers that have things inside them, and for each of those it's contained, if they're portable, so we need to do that as well, do we? So what does this do? Do we need to redo that loop? That's a good question. We can test that out and see what happens. So if equals all, then we'll just put item dot equals everything. We'll just have starts with every. Starts with every, then we're going to pick all the items up that we can, else that's we're going to do all that. Okay, so basically that piece of code is picking up an item, isn't it? So we should be able to turn that into a function. So let's extract that as a method. Pick up item, play out an item, and then this piece of code here becomes pick up item, player, and location item in this case. Okay, so let's cut a bit of that out. And we'll just combine these two if statements together, I think. So if an item is claims required and they don't have it, we'll put some brackets in there, even though they're not strictly speaking necessary, because I like to see those, and then we can say or we have something in our inventory which prevents you taking the item. So an example of this is the bird. So the little bird you encounter in the caves, you can't catch the bird if you've got the black rod with the star on the end. So this is an example of an item you've got in your inventory which then prevents you taking another item. So that should cover us for that. The thing I'm concerned about is this this bit here. So for each container, so we get all the containers in the location, and we step through them. So what we're going to do is we're going to try this out. I think that's the best thing to do. So let's fire up our code, and we'll bring Slack up, and we'll test with Slack. It seems to be the easiest way of testing. Right. Okay, so let's join the adventure. Okay, so we are stood here, we've got a mailbox, there's water, and there's a leaflet inside the mailbox. So that should be a good test of whether we can pick up that leaflet. Not perfect, but it's a way of doing that. Let's go into the building, and here we've got a number of items. If we look in here, we've got an iron key, a lamp, a bottle, and food, and there's some water, but we can't pick the water, it's not portable, you have to put it inside the bottle. So let's try take all. And look at our inventory. So we've got the key, the lamp, the glass bottle, and a packet of rations, which is good. We've picked up everything there. Let's. We need a message to come out. We need a message to be printed, but that's okay. We'll go out, and we'll do add grab all. We get no feedback, and we need to fix that. And we'll just look. The leaflet's still in the container. Okay, and then we'll do inventory. We don't have it, so we didn't manage to pick up what's inside a container. So that's probably where that bit of code comes in. So let's go and have a look at what we can do about that. So here we need to actually tell the player that we've picked some things up. So for each time through the loop, we'll actually we'll do that, and that I think can be part of pick up item, can't it? So let's print that there, and then we can lose that bit of code. With this endless supply, we create a new instance and put it in place. So things like water, there's obviously an infinite supply of water. So even if you take some water, there's still water there. So that's what takes care of that. I think we can probably... No, we'll leave it in that state. So, done that bit. We've done that bit. We already know it's not portable. It is portable. We know it's not null because we checked for that. So it's just this container business. So let's grab this bit of code, and I think we can move that above there. So for each container in the list of containers, for each contained item, if it matches the item and it's portable. So we just need to basically say that for all the containers we're going to pick up the item as well, aren't we? So it's kind of a variant on that. So let's grab that bit of code and just copy it up here. For each so we don't want to return, we want to continue at that point. And this is going to be if an item and an item there what was that before? It was item. An item is what? Item's a string. So we just want to say the contained item is portable. This should be continue. So is this part of the same loop? It isn't, is it? So what we're saying is that what are we saying? So I think what I'll need to do is comment that out for a second. I think what we need to do is have a look at what our, when we're outside the building, what does our portable item list actually contain? So let's just stick a breakpoint there to find out. Best way is to examine the actual data we got through. Oops. So an item dot there should be a name for the item. There it is. There we go. Let's fire it up and see what's in the portable item list. It's probably not containered items probably aren't included. Okay, let's bring up Slack. Adventure. So here we are. So let's grab all. Let's see what we see. So we've hit here. Portable items. There are no portable items at all. So this loop obviously needs to be outside of this for each to pick up any contained items. That's good. So let's grab, let's uncomment this code, and well, can we move it? I'm never sure how to move code. There we go. Where's the best place to move it to? So it's got to go. Maybe we should do that after we've picked up all the items, like there. Oops. Do a code cleanup on that. There we go. So this is contained items. So we've been through all of our list of things that we can actually, things which are not contained, and picked those up. What does it say in here? You're now carrying an item name with you. And here what we're saying, what's item? So it's not, that's not the right thing to put in there. So that's going to be contained item. Got name. So we can always through and add all of those. We don't need to continue at that point, do we? We don't need to continue, we can just do that. And we've got some repeated code here. This unfortunately does actually return once it's picked up the one item. So I wonder if we don't just do that at the end. So let's try that. So let's have a pick up contained items. Yeah, that should work. Extractor method, pick up contain. Pick up contained items. So what here we can say, rather than being a void, we can return a bool, and we can simply say return true, return false, and in this case we can return they're different, aren't they? Let's just do that for a second. In this case, we're aiming for a specific item, and we pick that item out. In this case, we want all the items. Okay. So all items equals true. Is that what we want to say? No, we know which item. I'm going to pass in which item we want, which is going to be, in this case, it's going to be all. Let's just add the connections to that, and this is going to be a string item, and then we want to say what do we want to say? So this is the condition here. So this should say in the previous, it should be that condition. So it's going to get a bit complicated. So so if item, if not item K-99, thank you very much for the follow. Have some electric Alf hype to welcome to the stream. This is a WebGL shader that's been created for the stream by Fuel Stable, who's currently in chat, or was recently at least. So that's a real-time web shader, WebGL shader. It's let's have another one because I do like him. So that's our alien buddy Alf, who's one of our emotes. If you're a subscriber, you get the Alf emote, the hype emote there, and that's him displaying his electric superpowers, which are quite frightening in reality. I'll tell you, up on the code base, it's quite frightening when he does that kind of stuff. Okay, so we got item if item dot equals a bit naff, but we'll think of a way around this, I think, at some point. So if the item is what is not all, and the item contains matches that, then grab it. That's going to be void, I think. Return. So I'm thinking that we just basically want to just do else if contained item is portable, then grab it. And that can be get contained item. Like that. So we got player, container, contained item. Can we just make that a local method? So strictly speaking, we don't need to pass player in because it's in the contained scope. So that's our local function. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll see if that works. So over here, instead of doing that, we definitely want to return a bool though. So I'm going to make sure we don't run. So when we come into this bit, I think this can go to the end. Yeah, it's like we do here. We pick the contained items up at the end, like that. And then I believe we can lose that entire command. Okay, so we can test that out quite easily. Let's make sure we build. Yes, thank you very much for that follow. It was very kind of you to do that. K-99. Not seen you around before, so welcome to the stream. We're working on our bot, our Twitch bot. It's also a Slack bot and a Discord bot at the same time. And we're working on our old school adventure, which is a game which is built into the bot, and you play in chat, in Twitch chat, you play through whispers, and in Slack and in Discord you play through private messaging. So that built okay. So let's run it up and see what happens. So this bot, the bot isn't running at the moment. We've got a couple of other bots in chat at the moment. We've got Nightbot, which you'll see, that's running, it's doing my moderation for me, and also providing a few basic commands. We've also got Cloudbot, which is the Streamlabs bot, giving me a few more commands, such as uptime and things like that. But the bot that we've got here, which does the clever stuff like the news and also the Ask Me Anything question, Ask Me Anything command, and also the game and the rocket launch commands, they're all in this particular bot. All the code is up on GitHub if you are interested, so it's all under MIT licenses, complete open source. That's the location of my GitHub if you want to go and have a play. Copy the code, do whatever you want with it. You're free to do so. If you feel like contributing some code, then fork the repo and submit some PRs. My Twitter handle is this one. Do pop across to Twitter and follow me so that you get appraised of changes to the stream times or the additional streams I sometimes do. I may be doing an additional stream tomorrow. Exciting thing is next Monday we've got Morton is going to be joining me on stream. That's aka Fuel Snable, and he's going to be working with me looking at T4 templates. So we're going to do T4 templating for fun and profit, and that's going to be next Monday from about 8 o'clock UK time. So do join me for that. I do have a YouTube channel as well where all my videos are archived, so do pop across and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's completely free to do that. I don't think we bothered to start the game, did we? So we'll do that. Yeah, so there's about 52 episodes up there, and lots of different types of project. From this text adventure, there's stuff on writing JWT bearer token secured web APIs. There's an Alexa skill created from scratch. There is a Microsoft bot framework based AI chatbot. There's a synthesizer written in .NET Core 3.0 and WPF, and there's a few little audio projects which I'm going to be returning some audio programming stuff. There's some collaborations with myself and Fuel Snable on F# and parser combinators, which are very, very interesting things, so do recommend you go and check those out. There's also I'm using CodeRush here as a productivity tool. There's also a guest appearance of Mark Miller, aka CodeRushed, who takes me through some of the work with CodeRush, and he helped me build some very interesting templates which I use within the text adventure we're doing now. So we're enjoying the adventure. So we're now set here. So if I say adv take leaflet, then we should pick up the leaflet. And we've crashed out here. So what have we got? Location item was null. Ah, interesting. So there's no locations to pick up here. So that's a good catch. So what we need to do is to protect ourselves. So if location item not equal to null. So that's some code we added recently, and we needed to put that guard clause around it. So it looks to me we return at that point, don't we? So if we return if the location item is null at that point, we'll never pick up any containered items. And this should be this shouldn't be all at this point. It should be the item we want to pick up, which is location item. That should be item, shouldn't it? So we don't actually want to return at that point. So if the item is null, we'll never do this bit. That's where we want to check for location item is null. Dragon's Eye, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Yeah, we're just writing a take all command at the moment, which is taking a bit longer than I'd hoped, but we're catching some good I think that we can check that there. Because location item will be null. Oh no. So this could do with returning a boolean like I suspected it should do. So let's have it return a bool. And this needs to return true as well. Yeah, so when we pick it up the first time, we want to bomb out at that point. What's the logic of this is interesting. So, in the case where we're looking for a particular item, we return straight away with true. Else we go through and get any contained items. And here if that is not the case, if the contained item is portable, So we want to go through all the items, and then if we didn't match anything at all, return false. So let's create a return value here. Return that down here. And in here, what we'll say is retval retval equals retval or true. That will set that, yep. Okay, I think that will work. And then up here, what we want to do is say, so when that's fine, we don't need to check retval in that case, I don't believe. In this case, we can say if that if we did pick an item, then we can return at that point because we've picked up our item that we're aiming for. Okay, I think that's going to work. Let's give it a go. This is a really early time actually, Dragon Eye, isn't it? I don't know how many people actually managed to make this particular stream, so I'm not sure if we'll, in the long term, always have a stream at this time. I'm kind of thinking maybe a Tuesday stream instead of this one, but I'm not 100% sure yet, so I'm not going to commit to anything. We'll continue with this. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to have to have a be right back. I've got to pop upstairs and do a backup on the work machine. So it'll take me a couple of minutes to do that. So we'll have a be right back. So let's here grab the leaflet. Last time we did this, we had a null exception. We got the leaflet this time. Yep, so there's a mailbox. So we can now, what we can do now is to just restart, and we'll try a take all at that point as well. Let's see if we get the leaflet. Just a second, I just had a ring at the bell, so I'm going to be right back. I'll be back shortly. There we are. I managed to answer the door and do the backup as well. Start the backup at least, so that's good. Okay, so it should be okay now for till the end of the stream without any interruptions. So let's now try our take all with that leaflet. Let's go to here, and there we have the leaflet inside the box. If we say take all, and we bomb out at this point. Why do we bomb out at this point? Because collection was modified. Really? Okay. Just put some code in here. We'll say for the containers equals container dot contents dot toList, and this the contents here. And we use that in that position and see if that helps us. At least we don't have to mess around too much to get these errors to occur, which is always a good thing. Not too much work of walking around through a load of dungeons. Enjoy your coffee, Dragon Eye. Could do with a coffee myself. I'm so headachy today, it's unbelievable. Just work's giving me lots and lots of headaches, so do something a bit stronger than a coffee, to be perfectly honest, but it's a bit too early in the day for that kind of thing. Okay, here we are. So now we're going to do adventure take all. Now carrying a leaflet. Look, yep. Inv. Oops. ADV inv. There we go. I got the leaflet. So I think that is now working. That's a good point. So we'll just commit that. So added take all feature. I think there was a spelling mistake in the vending machine, which is why there's a change to vending machine there as well, but nothing significant. Actually, I've got an update to Visual Studio waiting down here. Look, I'm not going to do that before the stream or on stream. Okay, so that's picked up contain items. So is there anything else we can do in terms of reducing the repeated code? Probably. Am I going to this kind of stuff here? And magic strings aren't that fantastic. So so let's just have a couple of constants. So we'll have to private const string all could be all private const string. I should use code rush for this. Every that, and then we'll just repaint those, replace those here. So it's a little bit tidier. So take every is not going to work, is it? So we need so what we need to do is to simply say let's get rid of that feature for now. give it some thought. The best way to have the verbs. So the verbs and nouns, variable values on there. Holloway 24, welcome. Good to see you. Let's have some electric alpha to welcome you. Yeah, I'm Dragonar. I've had paracetamol a couple of times today, but I don't think it's actually. I think the headache is being caused by stress in my job, because I keep, well, literally from banging my head against a wall. So it's going good, Holloway 24. It's going good. We're working on the adventure game again, the text adventure, and we just added a take all variant to take, so we can pick up everything that's upable in a room. So I think so we want to drop all, don't we? So let's do the same thing. We need to somehow have it so that we recognise everything, or something start with every as being a synonym of all. We'll do that. I might do that in the command handler, so it's all in one place. So you notice when we drop items, as opposed to picking them up, it doesn't check for events. So this item to drop is that. So if item to drop equals all, then we're going to do something. I think there's something wrong with my template for if. Code Rush seems to be. I think it is Code Rush. Whatever it is, it's not. It's not behaving correctly on this. Let's bracket that lot. Okay, so what are we doing here? So we checked here that they don't have. This is simply if we've got a specific item, and then we match it, and then we say go through that, and we drop contained items as well. So that's what we're going to have to do as well. So for each var carried item in, player inventory get items. So what types that? That is an adventure item, which is what we wanted. Okay, so now we can go ahead and drop all these items. So we know all these items in our inventory. So we should just be able to do that, shouldn't we? So that's carried item. We remove any player statuses that may have been bestowed up by carrying the item. You dropped and carried item dot name. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this takes care of the case where the thing you want to drop is a contained item, but we're dropping everything. So if we've got a bird in a cage and we drop the cage, the bird will be dropped with the cage, hopefully. Let's give that a go. So what we'll do, we'll go to the small building. I'll show you what we'll do. It's easier to show you. We'll get a contained item. So let's hit adventure. Okay. So here we are at our building. Let's go into the building. If we look, there's a bottle with some water. So if we do our new command, get all. So we're now getting everything. So if now we say fill bottle, I'm sure we've got a fill bottle command. So we've filled the bottle with water. So if we now have a look at our inventory, we should have yes, so we've got a glass bottle containing a pint of water. Now we're going to drop all. Let's see what happens. Looks like okay. So inventory, we should have nothing. If we look, we should see, yes, we got a glass bottle with a pint of water in it. So that's actually working very straightforwardly. So that's good. So we can commit that, I think. So we can say added drop all feature. Commit that. Okay. So we can now pick things up and drop them. What we need to do next is have a look at scoring some points when treasures are dropped at our at the building. So let's go and have a look at adventure game. End of game. So get points, calculate the points. So we've got the building, and here we're saying every treasure that's dropped at the building, we only get 15 points times the number of treasures we recovered. Okay, so let's remove that piece of code, that piece of that to do rather. Okay, let's go and try that out. So let's look at our teleport command. Teleport command gives us 2 lots of treasure. So where do we want to teleport to now? Currently we're teleporting to where are we? The Longcall West. I think where we want to go is we want to go to Debris location dot. One getting any intelligence. Lloyd Save, thank you for the follow. Have some extra ALF hype, some electric ALF hype. So thank you so much for the follow. That's really, really good of you. I'm really, really happy to have you on board. So I'm not getting any IntelliSense on my location there, which is interesting. For some reason I've lost it. So what was it before? Longcall. Yes, that's not. I'm going to save. I'm just going to close Visual Studio and reopen it because that's not right. I think some of this update to 16.2.1 might be what I actually need to run, because I have noticed some weird stuff with 16.2.0, especially at work when I've been working for a long period with it. There we go. So now it's now we got some colorization. So if I go here, we get some IntelliSense. That's good. So let's go to, I think it's debris. Yeah, we go to debris. Go there. So the teleport command is our little cheating test command where we can actually, let me see, it's telling me about that there, where we can just try things out. So what this is going to do, it's going to take us to the debris room, which is actually in the entrance, kind of the start of the cave system, and it's going to open the cave, give us 25 points for opening the cave, which we haven't earned, but if we just get them. It starts the dwarves in motion by setting up this event record with the key dwarves. So the dwarves start moving around. They can't get to us because we're in the debris room, which is in level 0, and the dwarves are limited to level 1 of the dungeon. We also get an axe, and we get some coins and a diamond to play with. So let's give this a go. So we're going to get 25 points, and we got 2 lots of treasures, which should give us 30 points for a total of 55 points. Should be our total when we commit suicide and finish the game. So let's give it a go. So we got a Code Rush update. Thank you, Code Rush. Okay, so that shouldn't interrupt us. That should happen in the background for us. I love Code Rush, it's fantastic. So if you haven't tried it, do give it a go. It's a great productivity tool, and I do have a video. I think episode 20 up on YouTube is my video with Mark Miller, where he takes me through some of the features of Code Rush. But I do really like it. I've used Wii Sharper as well, which is also very good. We're going to go in here. So grab all. I'm going to light the lamp. And then we're going to teleport to the debris room. Okay, so now we should have some items with us. Only when we teleport do we get those treasure items. So we now should say we've got a small axe, which isn't a treasure item. We've got a pile of coins and a diamond. So if now we use the magic word, the reason why I came to the debris room, because there's a magic word operates here. So X, Y, Z, Z, Y is a magic word. We should poof back to the brick building. We should be there now. We're in the brick building. If we now do is our drop all, drop all. We're going to drop everything we've got. So we've now deposited some coins and the diamond at the brick building. If I now teleport, I'm knocked out of a lamp. So if I start moving around, I'm pretty much going to fall into a pit very shortly after moving around. So let's teleport back to the debris room. So I have done that. I'm going to go west, and hopefully we'll fall into a pit at some point. So actually, it's still light here. That's interesting. Why? I've not got anything. Why is it still light? So let's sort that out, because that's a bit interesting. We're going to move command. We'll stick a breakpoint in there. I may not have the is dark set true in some of these locations. I need to sort that out. Cat size, yeah. I mean, we are close to the entrance, but I think it should be dark here. So let's now go east. Is it dark? It is dark. So it says it's dark, but we're not hitting this. It's pitch black command. Interesting. So let's do this again. Player status has lights. I wonder if our dropping the lamp hasn't removed the player status of has light, has it? I bet that's the problem. Let's stick the breakpoint there instead. we'll go west again, and we'll evaluate. That's false. So this is Code Rush visual debugging. So you can see the branches here that we could go down, and we can see that it's been predicted as being false. So the bit where we're removing the player status on dropping the item doesn't seem to be working. So let's go and have a look at that. So that was on the drop command. So remove player status condition. So lamp. Lamp should have the condition of. So what does remove player status condition do? Let's pop a. If it's not none. If the status isn't none, then it shouldn't be none. Where's lamp? Let's go and make sure we've got lamp has got a player status condition on it. Okay, so carried item dot gives player status. That's there. Okay, so it looks like lamp hasn't got give player status, has it? So because the lamp is still lit, that's why, because we get the status. Where's light lamp? We gain the status here when we player status has light. And we remove the player status has light at that point. So we need to do something special with lamps when we drop them. And indeed when we pick them up really, but when we drop the lamp we should switch it off, shouldn't we? Okay. Remove item from the inventory. Put it in the current location. So we deactivate. What we'll do is we'll deactivate any item that we drop. Okay, carried item dot is active is false. And then we're going to have to do something special for lamp. If carried item dot item ID equals item dot lamp. Item block lamp. So if it's the lamp that we're dropping, interesting, it's going to be the same no matter what happens, isn't it? It's going to be the same down here. If we drop a lamp, we must remove the has light command. So down here, we'll do the same thing, except its item in inventory is made inactive. And here, if it's the lamp, then what's the best way of doing it? We might be able to do it in one go, actually. We might be able to call the extinguish command on it. So do we use, yeah, we need to pass the player in. So drop, we should be able to say, rather than well, no, that might be okay. Here we can say carried item dot in not do. Is it do? Interact. Here we're going to pass the verb in. Is going to be extinguish. Let me pass the player in. So that's going to return a bool. That's okay. We're going to then we'll do these things. We'll do the interactions called extinguish. We could actually send it ext. That'd be shorter. Deactivate the item, update the item's name to battered lamp, and we're going to remove the player status. Actually, we should be able to go back here and have a look. When we drop the lamp, it says which is lit. That's the clue, isn't it? It was lit, and so we carried on being able to see because there was a lit lamp, even though it wasn't physically with us. So that should do that. Do we need to? We'll not deactivate for the moment. We'll just repeat this rather than doing that. We'll do this, and this is going to be inventory item. We'll extinguish the lamp. Okay, well that's interesting. We'll try that again. I love it when you come across these kind of really strange edge cases, and I think it's what makes programming interesting. If it all worked first time, it would be you'd understand more about your program that's feasible, really, because the interactions that happen now are really quite complicated, and to be able to envision them, all of the possible outcomes of your actions and your code changes is really difficult. But it's real world. So adventure, go in and take all. Okay, and for light lamp. Lamp shines brightly. We'll teleport. This will give us the treasures we want, and then we'll use the magic word X, Y, Z, Z, Y. We come back. We should have some treasure with us now, which we do. Drop all. So we should now be looking for, rather than a lit lamp, when we drop it and look up in the room, we should have a battered lamp. We look, and I can't see a lamp at all. Ah, no, why? Because we're in the building. Yes, that's a bug. So I'm going to make a note of that bug. In fact, I know what we'll do here. When we drop everything, we won't drop the lamp. Okay, so but that never mind. We're going to now teleport to the debris room, and we're going to do ADV go west. We should hit here. So we haven't got light anymore. It's false. So we should be able to just continue, and we should be warned if we continue doing what we're doing. And we weren't. We still have light. Has light equals 2. Really? Has light equals 2? Let's try that again. So we'll go west again. That's the enums. So what's our statuses? Didn't mean to do that, did I? I meant to hover over. It didn't remove our has light. Okay. Let's remove play status has light. Should be in here, so it should go in here. Let's stick a breakpoint in there. We'll stop the game. I'm going to drop. So what we'll do here, now we'll leave it as it is for the moment. We'll pop a breakpoint in there as well. So let's go. We haven't got to do too much to test this, at least. Right, let's have a look. So when we do drop all, I think I'm going to change it so you don't drop your lamp. So if the code item is equal to the lamp, then that's false because the item we're looking at currently is the key. Fair enough. This time it is the lamp. That's true. So we should now call interact extinguish on there. So let's go and do that. So have we removed it from our inventory already? Is that the problem? So not carrying it. We've dropped it out of our inventory before we've extinguished it, which is a silly thing to do, isn't it? So let's go and sort that out. So drop. So it's order of operations. So we want to remove. We want to do this bit first. And the same here. Kind of tempted not to drop the lamp if you drop all. Let's just test this first. Okay, here we go then. So let's go into the building, grab all, light the lamp, drop all. So we now come in here. Lamp turns off. What have we got in here? We haven't got the lamp because that's a bug. It's because we're in the building, so I don't want to drop the lamp definitely. But if we now ADV teleport, then we're going to use the magic word XYZY. We should have the extra items now, so let's drop those. Okay, now we're going to teleport again. So we haven't got any light, theoretically at least, so if we go west, we should... Yes, so we have fallen into a pit, because we haven't got the lamp. It's only a 35% chance of falling into a pit, but obviously we have. And we got 60 points. Now I said we have 55 points. That's not quite correct. There was 5 points for having started the dwarves in motion. Even though we didn't ever encounter any dwarves, the teleport command starts the dwarves off. So you get 5 points for that event. So 60 is correct. So we've now got points for dropping treasures back at base, which is our brick building. Okay, so I think that's pretty successful. So let's sort out not dropping your lamp when you do a drop all. In fact, it's not quite as simple as that. When we drop our lamp, okay, so when we drop the lamp and we're in the brick building is the problem. So what the problem is because I'm trying to get around this issue where actually it's not so much of a problem at the moment. It's just been hidden by the look command, I think. So let's not fix the underlying problem, because having more than one lamp is definitely a problem. And currently the game set up so there's only one lamp. So what did I do to prevent lamps appearing? Well, I thought I did something to prevent lamps being listed. Any of the players in the location, you list out their names. Oh, there we go. So this is the code I added to stop listing the lamp if you're in the brick building. What we're going to do is comment that out. So need to devise a correct solution for each player only getting one lamp. In multiplayer. Yeah, so that should sort that problem out. Let's just quickly try that. and then we need to actually come up with a solution. And I've been thinking about it, and I haven't really come up with anything that I can hang my hat on at the moment. Hopefully I'll think of something. It sounds relatively simple, so that there's, if you're, it's all to do with that has lamp event that we've got. Yeah, it works if you're not in the brick building. That's the thing. Only when that brick building that it won't say there's a lamp there, will it? Let's have a look. Let's try it. Why don't we try it? It may actually work okay, although it won't be the actual solution that we need. Okay, so let's go in. Get all. I like that command. That's good. Add light lamp. Add drop all. So the lamp's there now. Take all. So that sorts out the initial problem. What it doesn't sort out is if Dragoneye was to join the game, he wouldn't find a lamp in this room, which is the problem, because every player would need a lamp. It should just be a matter of looking at those flags. It's the interactions, how you can drop, and also did I create it? I think I might have even created a give command where you can give things to other players. Did I create a give command? Not yet. That was one of the ideas, where you could start swapping things around. So you could almost have kind of like relays of people carrying items out of the dungeon. So that's the swap or give command is something we're going to need to do. That makes it even more complicated. You give your lamp to somebody else, do you still have a lamp in terms of the game? Yeah, needs a lot of thought, that, I think. So let's fix some issues with Skool. Okay, so what have I got on my list? We're getting some points for the jewels and treasure. So we're saying 15 points per piece of treasure dropped at the brick building, and that's tallied up at the end of the game when you die or when you win. Winning this game is very hard. I did think about finding treasure gave you 2 points. So there was another command I was thinking of, which was back or retreat. Shall we create a new command? I think a retreat or back command is a specific type of command. Dragoneye. We have to order a queue walk into darkness with the first person with the lamp. Yeah. Like 3 trolls sharing one eye. I've heard of that folk story. As you say, Norwegian. Love trolls. There's a troll in here. We haven't done the troll yet. A troll under a bridge, or on a bridge actually, rather than under a bridge. But he lives under the bridge. So we'll do that at some point. Right. pencil decided to not work. I've got these mechanical pencils. Decided not to work. Okay. So there's a back or retreat command. Let's try and create a back or retreat command, shall we? So let's add a new class. We'll call it back. So it's a public class. It's going to implement our adventure command. So is verbatim is going to be so what we're doing with that kind of thing. Oh, we're actually doing base adventure command. That takes away some of that stuff that we need to do. Let's remove all this. So we have an invoke. Doesn't it like back? Okay. Because we need a constructor like that. It's going to be back. Check events is going to be true because it's a movement. So it's going to be very similar to a move command. So let's go and have a look at our move command and see what we can take from that. So back is going to be are we going to have a lot of repeated code? I'm not sure we are. This is where I start to worry about some of the code I've got. Maybe it needs to come out into a library of some kind which has this logic in it. Let's implement the simplest back command we can for now. So I believe our command should be registered automatically, but we do need to do something with our adventure command registry. So we'll register it here. This is going to be back, and it's going to be back or retreat. I will simply add back as an option in there. So that's, we're doing a different kind of registration within our bot. We register by running through the assembly with reflection and finding everything that implements I command. This is stuff that implements I adventure command, and I've just got this registry because it's a bit easier to work with when adding things like all these aliases. For example, we could put discard in here. This is the only exception. The interact command doesn't have any aliases because it's not a real command in its own right. It's an interaction. So use is kind of default command, but it's got its own set of different aliases which you can use for each different type of interaction with an object. That's slightly more complicated. Sure, I've got the comment: do not add in aliases. They won't do any good. Okay, so we've got a back command here. So in our move command, let's get rid of some of these things. Drop, take, move. In our move command, so all we're going to do is go back to where we just come from, if that's possible. So I think what we need to do is have a new property of a location, which will be you can't do that. You can't go back because it's a maze or whatever, and you can't just go backwards to where you just came from because you're in a maze. So adventure location. We want our adventure location, and we want a new boolean, and it's going to be called no back. And we have to go through and set this no back to true in all the locations that we want. So public bool no back. In our abstract implementation. Okay. So in our back command, first thing we want to check is if player current location no back, then we're going to disallow it. So what could we do? We just want to send some chat to the player. And we'll say, who knows which way is back anymore. And then we simply return that point. Okay, so for we can. So if we get past that, then it's relatively simple. We're not accounting for the fact things are dark. So what we'll do is say var back to equals player dot prior location, and then we can say now what to do when we move. Can we just invoke move at this point? No, we can't. So we've got to try and stop this adding this command from breaking some of the puzzles, because going back is a bit of a cheat, really, isn't it? So so we can, the simplest thing we can do is to say that player dot prior location player current location player dot current location equals back to, and then we'll write something out that says you make your way back from whence you came. So that's the simplest interpretation of a back or retreat command. So we should be able to do that wherever we want at the moment. There's no way of actually blocking that. Should no back be part of the edge rather than the node? It's a good question. Let me think about that. The idea is you step into a maze. So you're in the maze of twisty turny passages all alike. Being able to go just say back and stepping out of the maze is a cheat. You need to be, once you're in the maze, then you have to choose a direction to go in. So I think it might belong to the location, that you can't go back from that location. That's my sense at the moment, but you may be right. You may be onto something with the connections between rooms. I don't necessarily have the concept at the moment, but it's an interesting concept for your Snable. Trapdoors. Yeah, so there is so the way we deal with trapdoors, we have singleton items. So there's a locked grid, a locked grill in the dungeon, which is you need to unlock to get you into the cave, and it exists in both rooms. Exists both in the outside room, which is the outside air, and it also exists in the room underneath the grill, but it's the same instance. So it's either open or closed in both locations. So in terms of a locked door or locked trapdoor, it operates as we want. So in terms of a trapdoor, you're thinking of you walking along and you fall into a trapdoor and you fall down into somewhere. So we could, what we need, you would not have a valid move of up or climb, because you see you can't climb out. And then if that room had a no back, then you couldn't issue the back command when you're in there. But you're right, because if you were then inside, if you went out of the room, if there was a tunnel off that room, you went out of the room and then went back into it and said back, then it would say you can't. Yes, you're right. There's an issue there with if you've fallen down a trapdoor or fallen down a pit. Yeah. You're right, aren't you? Okay, as well as no back, we need to check whether it's a valid move or not. Because how we deal with that, we would, if we're taking away that move as a valid move, then back would also be disabled. Good thought, thank you very much for your Snable. So we need to look at the valid moves. So this is going to help us with that. Not quite right, but so if there's a definite no back, then like in a maze you can't use the back command, because it solves the maze too easy to actually retreat, follow, go back in your footsteps. So if there's any, so what's D? Now we need to bring in link. So D, destination. What's destination? It's a location. So we need to grab this and move it up. So, oops. So we need to know where we want to go. This is our adventure location. So if the current location value moves from a location anywhere the destination equals back to dot location ID. I think that's right. Then we can say, well, that's fine. Else, thank you for your snowball. That's clarified. The design of the dungeon gets more intricate at that point. Yeah, so the no back is for mazes, but you can't use the back command where we've taken away the ability to go in the direction that you came from. Like you fell down the pit, you can't suddenly teleport, levitate back to the top of the pit just by going back. Cool, because there's no direction to go back. We've taken it away from you. Okay. So we simply want to give them a message. Can't go in that direction. Can't make your way about. Doesn't appear to be where you can go back from here. That'll be enough for the moment. Let's see if that builds okay. We'll see if our back command works. Right. Where's Slack? Okay. Go in. Take everything. And back. Who make you away from what you came, so it's wrong, but we'll correct that. And we're back outside. So that actually worked. Should be back in the building now. Yeah, we are. So that bit's working okay. So let's just correct the stupid spelling mistakes. This is you. You make your way back. Who knows which way is back anymore? You make your way back from whence you came. And then what we'll do, just to test out no back, is to go to locations, and we'll go to so off stream I'll go and do all the mazes so you can't go back in them. We'll go to, where's the building? Building. We'll simply set no back is true on that. Remind me, chat, to remove that before we finish. So we'll just test this, make sure we can't go back at that point, and then we'll call it a day, I think. So there's a likelihood I'll stream tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but it's kind of on the cards. And as I say, next Monday we're going to have a special episode of Codebase Alpha when Fuel Stable, aka Morton's, going to join us, and we're going to look at T4 templating. So tomorrow I do intend to have there we are, a Skype conversation with Morton, so we can kind of set up for that stream. So that should be really good. We used T4 templating. Morton PR'd it into our synthesizer project for WPF, and it was really good. So I'm excited to find out how we can exploit T4 templating. Yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. Fuel Stable, very much so. I think the F# specials we did were a great success, so hopefully we can get a regular thing going. Yeah, so do join us for that next Monday, Dragonite. It'll be about 8 o'clock UK time. So that's working okay. So let's stop this. Let's get rid of. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just have that. Let's set our mazes up with this, and then we can finish with at least that feature implemented. So a little bit boring for you to watch, but at least you can see that we are adding this flag to the maze rooms, so that when you're in the maze you can't simply retrace your tracks, and that's kind of that's why there wasn't a back command really before. But I do like the idea of having a command just to take you back where you came from. We do need to take care of the jeopardy of not having a lit lamp or not having a light, because it does remove that jeopardy. And there are certain locations where we say we don't want this back command to ever work. There's one feature we're going to have to implement fairly soon, and that's a conditional move, so that you can only move in a certain direction if you satisfy certain conditions. Like if it's very narrow, for example, that you can't be carrying any items, including a lamp. Brinker Pit and Pirate Chest Cave are fine. Let's close all those down. And then we'll do the same for all different mazes. Only 11 rooms in that one, so not quite so onerous. And I need to look at the map to see where the other places where having a no back command would be useful. A no back condition or flag. Right, after I finish the stream I've got to go back upstairs and do a little bit more work. So that's why we're finishing relatively soon. So I do hope to be able to stream tomorrow, at least from about 9 o'clock, once I've finished my conversations with Fuel Stable to get prepped up for Monday's special. And I think we're also looking at maybe having a shader special as well, or a couple of special streams about shaders if Fuel Stable's about to. Yes, it sounds like you want to talk about the shaders. Yes, I do. So I'm just you just took the words out of my mouth. Yes, we do want to do something about that as well. So that'd be a really good extra stream as well. So this is episode 53. Let's commit those changes. We'll just build to make sure there's no issues with what I've just done. Don't want to commit anything which doesn't build, because AppBuyer will complain at me. Yeah, that builds okay. So then we can sync that to GitHub. So the GitHub I'll post into chat. As I say, it's all open source, all MIT licensed. If you want to pinch the code, do whatever you want with it, change it, play with it. If you want to fork it and create a PR for extra features, please do. I will see you most likely tomorrow, but do watch Twitter. My Twitter handle is this here. Do follow me on Twitter. Thank you, Dragonite. It's been a pleasure to have you in the stream. Fuel Stables as well. I don't know who else is around. There was our follower. And thank you very much for renewing your subscription, Fuel Stable. That's very kind of you. M. Holloway as well. Thank you. Good stream. Thank you. And I say we'll see you most likely tomorrow. Probably from about 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. Don't want to clash too much with Dev Chatter. And then it'll be next Monday for the T4 templating special with Fuel Stable. So do take care, everybody. I'm going to now see if I can find someone to raid. So let's go to Twitch. Over to channel. Looks like we'll raid. Who should we raid? We raid Talk to Me Gooseman, Nick Larson, Griffin, or Clarkio. I think Clarkio's got plenty of people. So should we choose? Let's go to Talk to Me Gooseman, shall we? So do stay on stream on the channel for that. Let's see if we can sort the raid out. So we want to go to Talk to Me Gooseman, and we'll raid him. And do take care, everyone, and I'll see you very shortly. Yes, Insta from Clarkia are excellent. I'm just trying to kind of spread the love around a bit. If you do want to carry on for them, do so. Otherwise, please spam chat with any emotes you've got, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.